Just make sure we're live here. Got a lot of people waiting.
Where are you based, bro?
I am. I'm from New York.
Okay.
But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I live
hence
in.
the hat. Yeah.
I live in Tampa though right now. But yeah, I'm
Oh,
from New
okay.
York.
Okay.
All right, perfect. So we're live. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you guys for waiting. Yeah, man. We're gonna go on ahead and kick this off with Bryan Williams, here, developer of WWE 2K Games as well. So this should be a fun one, man. First time for me. Bryan, welcome to the channel, man. Appreciate you coming by.
Oh, it's good to be here. It's always a pleasure, chatting with another Brian, spelled the right way.
You spelled the
You
right
know
way.
what
Yes, sir. No
I
I.
mean? Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, let's go on ahead and get into it, guys. So I have a couple questions, Bryan. I know that over on the other, shout out to EPW on the other interview, they were a lot of gameplay questions in there. But I have some questions for you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm a big universe mode guy. I won't blow you up, I promise. But before we go into universe mode, though, I have one gameplay question that I've been concerned about. Will we be able to stack tables this year?
Unfortunately, no. There will
Oof.
be no stacking of tables. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
all
I
good,
hate I,
all
I
good.
hate to start this off with a no.
No, all
But
good.
yeah, but it's not a 2K25, but it's something that we always discuss, and it's just a matter of if we bring this back, we just want to bring it back the right way,
Fair.
and make it better than it was before in some of the older games. But it'll be back soon. It'll be
For
back
sure.
soon.
All right, let's go. Well, all right, we got stacked tables out the way, guys. I know a lot of people wanted to know that. Now, Bryan, with universe mode, right? Cutscenes were something that you guys added back in 2K23. And I think that it was a welcomed addition to the mode. It was something that I think we really needed. But we are not able to do stuff in cutscenes till this day. And we're not able to do cutscenes in pay-per-views or PLEs till this day. Is that something that was added this year? Maybe some sort of payoff aside from the rivalry feature that you guys have?
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna have to. I really don't have a lot of good answers for universe.
Okay, fair.
That's not an area of the game that I work on.
Hmm.
Um, Outside of we brought the promos back in universe,
At least right.
something that the fans have been requesting. So I know those are back. And so yeah, I don't want to sit up here and talk about something that I
Yeah,
really
for sure.
don't have the answer to. So I apologize about that.
No, all good.
But yeah,
No,
my
for sure.
area of like expertise is mostly on the gameplay, the roster, things of that nature. Showcase a little bit.
For sure. Well, Brian, this isn't a this gameplay. This isn't a gameplay question, but sort of is. All right. I know a lot of people. The island started, some polarizing conversations out there. A lot of divide.
Did
Can you
it?
tell us?
Did it?
Can you tell us if there's more than 1v1 matches on there though? Because we only saw 1v1 in the trailer. Could we expect 2v2 or 3v3? Would you happen to know by any chance?
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely more than just 1v1. And look, I've heard some grumblings about the island as well from like on my timeline on Twitter.
Hmm.
Still call it Twitter. Uh, and so like I get it. Look, it's a brand new thing that we're doing this year. I would just say to anybody who might have apprehension about it is that when you pick up 2K25, I would recommend anybody just give it a chance. I think you'll be more than pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of really cool things that the team has done in the island that is going to be worth your while to spend time in. I mean, just some of the landmarks, the venues. They're, I mean, some of them are just honestly, brother, like they're breathtaking. In particular, the Undertaker's kind of Gothic church when you fight in that arena. It's just amazing to look at.
Right.
Rey Mysterio's Aztec themed arena is another one. And there's just a really cool overarching story that goes through the island.
Hmm.
And where it ends, I think fans are really going to be excited. So, I would just say, look, give it a chance. It's a fun thing. Like we wouldn't have spent all this time and energy and creativity on something that we internally did not feel strongly about. So,
Fair.
yeah,
Man, personally, I like to hear that answer because I'm somebody who's actually excited for the island. I like the possibility of a mode to where I can play online with my friends. Now, one question I do have for you, Brian, so we can go on ahead and put this to sleep if you have some information on it. Can
yeah.
we expect good servers this year. Now, I know that you guys wouldn't put in a game mode that could hold up to 50 people in one server without good servers. Can we expect that this year for the people asking?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I was asked this earlier as well, and look, it's a legit question. I mean,
Yeah.
for a mode that is predicated off of a stable and strong server and connectivity, and we knew this going in. Obviously, this was going to be a huge undertaking, but you know, it'd be a waste of a mode if we were asking people to come try this thing and they were having problems just getting in. So the team is well aware. Our online team has been from the very beginning that we started, pre-production on this. That was at the forefront of everybody's mind. Is that if we're moving forward with this, we have to make sure that our online is stable, it's secure, it's working in a way that our fan base expects. Because we are hoping that our fans of 2K25 are going to spend a lot of time in the island, and this is something that we've invested a lot in. And so, yeah, definitely expect a very smooth, clean experience with the island. And if it's not, I guarantee you, the team will know before everybody else, and it'll be resolved.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's definitely something to look forward to. I know a lot of people were wondering, are there going to be online servers fixed? Well, now we have answers for that, guys. And Bryan, now based on gameplay, right? We've seen
Yeah.
a lot of these just fighting stances right over since 2K22 the reboot. This year I have seen a lot of gameplay from creators that were able to capture content a little bit earlier than everybody else. What would you say about the fighting stances? They look like they're like gone in some videos. They look like they're here. Some people have mentioned that there might be an option. Are they gone? Can you clear that up for me?
Are you so by the fighting stance? You're talking about like the engaged, like when
Right,
you're,
yeah, because
yeah,
some I was watching a gameplay. I forgot the YouTuber, but again, shout out to them. It looks like the wrestlers were just walking around, like there was
yeah.
no, bopping. What can you say about that?
I love that. No bopping, because
Yeah.
that's true. They weren't bopping around. No, this was something that we definitely. I'm glad you got a keen eye. Uh, yes, the engaged. We call it internally like the engaged stance. It's still in the game,
Hmm.
but you'll only see it if you're squared up with an opponent. If you are on the attack and your opponent is in a grounded, incapacitated state, you'll be able to walk up to them without having to shuffle around in that engaged stance. So we wanted to make it because you just don't see that off that stance a lot in pro wrestling, right?
Hmm.
You whip somebody into the corner and you want to go up there to do whatever to them. You're not going to shuffle over there with your arms up and everything like that. You're just
Right.
going to say, hey, I've got the advantage. I'm going to go walk up here, grab this guy, bash his head into the turnbuckle. And
Right.
so we've made that adjustment this year. So that is a new change that we did with our navigation.
Yes, and that's great to hear because I was somebody who was like, man, these fighting stances. And just to piggyback off that question for the I don't want to talk sort of the next iteration. We're still not at 2K25 yet, but is it something that you guys are actively looking at doing when it comes down to the way wrestlers move in real life? Like, is that something to kind of personalize them, in the future, the way they move, they walk, things like that? Is that something that's actively being looked into?
It is, and has been for kind of a while now. It's just one of those things. Anytime you mess with navigation, which our game is built heavily upon, I mean, it was just a very animation heavy game, but in
Right.
particular, the way you move around the environment is everything, right? Because that's got to feel right.
Right.
And so this year, because even just making adjustments to the engage stance that we were just talking about, like that was a pretty sizable lift to make that feel right.
Hmm.
The same goes to what you're describing, like the different kind of gaits and styles that certain wrestlers have. We've done small things here and there, like Rey Mysterio, for example, when he rebounds off the rope, he hits the middle rope, the middle and the bottom, instead of the traditional like hitting, the top and all three. So we've Roxanne Perez does the same thing. So we've made small strides there, but we absolutely want to get to a point where we are able to have like idols and even certain stances that are very specific to any individual wrestler that's known to do that. So, yeah, that we're definitely eyeing in the future to improve upon that area as well, just so that everybody doesn't stand or move the same. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah. That I think that's more because I've gotten a lot of that question here with the community asking, and I'm like, I guess it's something that we'll have to throw in there and see if we can get an answer
Yeah,
for. So I definitely appreciate that.
that's a good question.
For sure. So, uh, just to get into some super chats and things like that, I do have a question from let's see here, Makai. Big fan of Brian Williams. I was wondering if we will see updated tag team entrances and four-man entrances updated question mark. I mean, we've already seen a five-man
Wyatt.
with the Wyatt six, which looks amazing. I mean, the detail to that was incredible. Uh, uh, do you have an answer for something like that, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, so you will, yeah, fans can expect to see some new tag entrances. Um, on top of my head, I'm not sure exactly how many. I mean, I know that we've got the first anytime I think of tag or tag entrances, for whatever reason, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson always come to mind. Like we've got their tag entrance, as well as some of the others. I mean, obviously, for Showcase this year, which is themed around the Bloodline, we have a lot of classic tag teams that are featured in that mode.
Hmm.
The Wild Samoans, the Head Shrinkers, the Islanders. So they, of course, are going to have, they've got brand new entrance motions for them, as well as others. So I guess the long way, or kind of roundabout way, is that yeah, there you can expect to see a lot of new tag team entrances. As far as the four man, I want to say I know that we captured the metaphor, their entrance, but I'm not sure if that one has been processed as of yet because I
Hmm.
think I'd like I said I know Jakara and Lash theirs has, uh, but if the four-person team hasn't yet, it
Right.
will be because if you play 24
Yeah.
2K23, we routinely will push out new entrances and stuff like that as we post launch. So yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw American Made's entrance because a lot of people were like really
yeah, American
disappointed
made,
by
yeah,
it. Yeah, so that's definitely a big example there. Last year we saw the entrances get updated. I mean, we got some that I didn't even think we were gonna get. So you guys did really well with that because I think it kept the game flowing throughout the year with
yeah.
new content aside from the DLC.
I mean, it's a testament to the team that we have. I mean, I mean, we're on a 1 year dev cycle.
Yeah.
They're only our team is only so big, right? And we've only got so many hours in a day. But even with that, and that's not an excuse, that's just life.
Hmm.
But the thing is with this team is that you know we never are resting on our laurels. The game comes out, whether obviously we got to work on DLC, but we're also working on other things that we can add in each one of these title updates that we do. Whether it's hey, here's this entrance that
For
we
sure.
had for 24, we added the War Games. Uh, what was that? The WCW War Games Arena. That was something that we had. It's like we're constantly working and trying to increase the game and just the betterment of the game each and every year. Never stops.
For
It's like the
sure.
mail. It's like the post office. We never stop.
No, yeah, definitely can see that. But Brian, we did get a screenshot of Chelsea Green without the US championship that a lot of people were talking about. I seen you guys got the Raw arena in there, which you guys put that in a trailer like I think like it was like a week or something after we actually saw the Raw arena. So I thought that was pretty impressive. Or it was like a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
we see that Ryan Robinson here asks, are the women's US and intercontinental titles in the game?
So they will not; those titles will not be in the game come the release of 2K25. Now, not to upset anybody, but the fact of the matter is that when those titles were introduced, they were introduced way late in our development cycle. I want to say that they made the announcement of these titles in November of last year,
Hmm.
and then, as you know, they had the tournament to crown the first, of each.
Right.
Uh, so we were not able to add them into the game yet. And there's a lot of different factors for that. Outside of the assets that we need for title matches, the title graphic that comes up. There's also other ramifications that go to, we've got to accommodate for this in my GM. We've got
Hmm.
to accommodate for these titles in Universe. And so we didn't want to just slap this thing in or these titles in without having the support in the modes that need them the most. And so I say all that to then say this, we are having discussions right now to see if we could potentially add these titles post launch as again another
Awesome.
update of one of our title updates where the women's US and IC titles can be added into the game because we hear all the chatter and trust us had these been introduced maybe even 4 months earlier it would have been in for sure. It's just a matter of our schedule versus how the WWE operates. But we hear you guys, and we're going to do everything we can to see if we can support them.
For sure, yeah. You guys are often messed up by WWE schedule. I mean, they drop new things, man. It doesn't matter, when if the game is gonna drop. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely understandable, and I understand that we don't want to drop titles that can't be supported by the biggest modes in the game. So
Exactly. Yeah.
definitely can see that. And let's see here. I have okay, so I know you probably can't answer something like this.
You can ask anyway.
But I'm gonna ask anyway, and you just
Yeah.
let me know. Lee Valentine, will more Diva legends be added in the future? Especially Tori, Sable, Jacqueline, Dawn, Jazz, Kelly, and more. Can you add Pillow as a weapon? Question mark. You can.
Oh man, for the pillow, what game do we have that pillow fight? Was that SmackDown versus Raw 2006? There was like yeah, go back, dig into the crates on that one. But yeah, I mean, I can't say who, but yeah, we do have some female legends that will be coming through the pipeline for DLC. That's all I can say at this time.
Okay, there you guys go. I know a lot of people were upset last year a little bit throughout because we got a lot of men, and then we didn't get as many women as people wanted. So it's cool to know that we do have some female legends on the way.
And,
Uh,
and I will just to tag that real quick
yeah,
before we get on to the next one. When it comes to that, is that you know we work with, obviously. I mean, we work with WWE. We make their game. For us, of course, we want to have equal representation across the board, but at the same time, a lot of who we can get isn't based on anything other than, well, do we have, can we get the rights? And that's usually where, because we can say, oh, we want to get this person, that person, da da da, and the WWE will help. But at the end of the day, it's like we can only get the talent that we can legally, put
right.
into the game. So there is that legalese about it too, where it's because I know everybody's got their favorites, and trust me, I've had my own that I was trying to get in, but it's like if the rights aren't there, there's not much we can do on our end.
Yeah, no, that definitely tough. And Bryan, we talk about updating the game and things through patches. I do have a question here from Spencer that says, Bryan, I noticed that Jay Uso, New Day, and Bianca's Trons doesn't do the graphic animations. Is that going to be updated at some point? Because a lot of the times we get Titantrons and stuff that are outdated, and I'm sure it goes even further than just putting it in the game. I'm sure that there's licensing and all types of stuff. It goes deeper than just that. What can you say, if are we going to expect updates for things like this that may be outdated right now, in the future?
If there is anything outdated, I mean, if we have the assets, then yeah, we could potentially push that through in a patch post release.
Hmm.
I'm not exactly sure. Like, I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask about Trons. Like, this is one of those things where I'm like, I don't really pay all that much
Yeah,
attention to them a great deal. But if there is things that are outdated and that if we get those assets, that it's almost like an interest, right? Like if the team keeps working on a thing, it's like, hey, we've got this, let's push this out. So that's my kind of long short answer of it. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what we can do.
for sure. No, that definitely. I do have a question from JCSJ. With blow for blow and chain wrestling, will we see things like test of strength or the Osprey versus Ricochet exchanges, just more style based stuff? Is that something that we're looking at getting in the game this year at all, gameplay wise?
No test of strength in that spot that you mentioned with Osprey. Uh, I mean, outside of just having a series of reversals back and forth, until you land something big. That's just done through normal gameplay. No. Chain wrestling was something that we brought back this year that the fans had, been asking for since it was removed in 2K22. So that is back. And so we spent a lot of our time and energy just, standing that up, making sure that it plays and looks as good as it can. And during the course of developing, and bringing back chain wrestling, the test of strength was mentioned. We were not able to get to it this year, but I would not be surprised if we go back to that conversation and potentially see if there's a way that we can include it into a next release at some point.
Definitely. Okay. Cool to
Because it would
know.
be a cool thing to have, especially because we've got the new giant archetype,
Yeah.
and that would have been a really cool thing to do for them in lieu of chain wrestling. Like kind of have these two behemoths do that, that knuckle lock and see, who can get the advantage.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that the chain wrestling is something for me personally that I've been waiting on to see, and I think based on just the gameplay that I've seen thus far, it looks pretty much just just well done in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's something that I am looking forward to getting my hands on. Uh, and let's see here from Tammy. Oh, I, Tammy, I'm not even going to ask that, but I appreciate the super chat. Uh,
Oh, well, now you got me curious. What was it?
oh, they were asking what's the unlockables for the Bloodline showcase. I mean,
Oh,
we can't
yeah.
get that out, but
I
I'm
mean,
sure
honestly,
I'm sure it'll be fun.
yeah, it's so many. I don't even have. I couldn't even list them off the top of my head. I'd probably stop at like 10 or something. It's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot of unlockables.
No, I mean the showcase looks absolutely incredible too. I'm excited to get that, especially with you guys bringing in-game cutscenes
Yeah,
back into it. And I see that there's a lot of some, I guess, like what if, like dream matches. Like I saw in the trailer we had AOP and
yeah,
we had the 3-minute warning.
yep.
For something like that, Brian, just a question off the top. Could you say, are there any in-game cutscenes for something like that? Obviously, it's all fantasized, but is that something that we can expect in some of these matches, or is it just the match and that's what we're looking at?
Yeah, so I've played through. I haven't played through all of Bloodline because our brother's busy, working on the game and everything
For
like
sure,
that.
for
So,
sure.
so that I don't know the answer to. I know that I want to say no, but I'm not entirely sure for the fantasy matches that we have in-game cutscenes in those. But I know that they always open up with a really cool video package from Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman's our host this year.
Right.
He hosts the Bloodline videos. He's like hosting our tutorial in some other areas. So like, there's a lot of Paul Heyman in the game this year, but you'll get a nice little video package from him talking about the what ifs of it. It's like, oh, AOP versus 3-minute warning, stuff like that. Which I think is a really cool thing, to intermix like these fantasy matchups
Hmm.
with also some of the historical matches that Showcase is known for. But I think switching it up a bit has really kind of breathed new life into what we do for Showcase this year.
For sure. And Brian, we're gonna wrap up here. Just one last question for you, man.
Yes,
What would
sir.
you say is your favorite gameplay addition thus far? Maybe let's try to spice it up. Maybe something that we haven't seen just yet. Is there something that maybe has gone over our heads that you say, okay, this is definitely one of my favorite ones?
So I've got three real quick, and it won't take long. I love the underground match, and not just because I I worked on it. I think the underground match came out fantastic. Barricade dives, as people have probably seen, you can now do dives off the barricade. And I just want to say, in terms of the barricade dive, these attacks are optional. They're like springboards, right? Some people have them, some don't. If you go into a match with someone and you're like, why can't I do this dive up, off the barricade? You can customize these and create a move set to your heart's content. You can give Andre the Giant dives off the barricade if you want. By default, he doesn't have any. And
Gotcha.
another thing that I think is a small thing, but for me, who's been working on this project for as long as I have, corner charge special moves. Randy Orton's punt, Drew McIntyre's
Yes.
Claymore that they do in the corner. These were implemented in WWE 12. And since they were first added, you could only use these moves as signatures and finishers. In 2K25, you can now use these moves as regular corner charge attacks. And so I think, and again, it's an optional moveset category. So some people may have a move in the corner, some don't. But as someone who's always been a fan of those moves and knows how much work goes into creating them, I was glad that we were able to, take this set of moves and make them available outside of just being specials. So
Right. That was something that a content creator, I believe his name is Money Benjamin. Y'all make sure to go check him out. He had a great just deep dive on the game. That was something that actually excited me, just seeing that kind of thing happen, because that's something like that I never realized I wanted, but once I saw it, I'm like, that's cool. I like that. So I'm
yeah,
glad that you
yeah,
guys got that in.
yeah. Cool.
Well,
Great minds think alike, B.
for sure, man. Well, Brian, I appreciate you so much, man. First time for the interview. It was a great time. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on the channel and talk about the game. That's always appreciated.
Hey, brother, like I said, the pleasure's all mine, and it's an honor, and it's been nice to meet you for the first time.
Nice to meet you as well.
And let's do it again someday.
For sure, for sure. We'll be seeing each other soon.
Yes, sir. All right. Look
Take it
forward to it.
easy.
All right.
For
Peace.
sure. All right, guys. Well, just very briefly, I was able to go on ahead and Bryan, shout out to Al, Bryan, all of the team just working. Thank you guys so much for getting this interview. Now, guys, we're about to go on ahead, get up out of here. Now, very briefly, just want to let you guys know if I missed out on your super chat, I will try my best to get it out. Try to get some answers for you guys. Just stay tuned. We got something big planned. Just stay tuned. If you caught it at the end of the interview, you caught it. If you didn't, you didn't. Again, thank you guys for the support. Make sure to go over to the Pro Wrestling Shoots channel for another interview, as some of the questions that you guys might have asked on here will be answered over there. Again, guys, thank you guys so much for the support. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. Today, ironically, is the 2-year anniversary for Just Bryan. So this was huge. And again, thank you guys for your support. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your super chats. I value all of your guys' money. I couldn't get everything in there, but they did give us extra time. Originally, it was 15 minutes, and it was extended to 25 minutes. So, again, thank you, Bryan. Thank you, Al. Thank you. Shout out to the 2K team. Shout out to everybody. Love you guys. Make sure to go to Jesse's channel over at the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I'm going to get up out of here. Peace.